I think one of the finest young reporters out there, Natalie Winters. But what's the story? There's a big story breaking in Beijing this morning, Mr. Rahim.
Yeah, let's bring Natalie on to talk to us about it. Natalie, the lead story at the National Pulse and all across Australian media this morning. Talk to us about why it's important, what it is and why it's important.
Sure. So Chang Lei, who served as a business correspondent for China Global Television Network, which is a media outlet that is entirely funded and administered by the Chinese Communist Party, she's actually been detained via what's called residential surveillance at a designated location in China, or at least that's what the Chinese Communist Party is telling us. Since at least August 14th, she's been detained without charge, and we're just learning about it in Western media as the Australian government, of which Chang Lei is a citizen of. She was originally born in China, but procured Australian citizenship in 2003. They've confirmed reports that she has been held without charge somewhere, an unknown location.
So, I mean, what do we know about the detention? What do we know about the arrest? Because, I mean, I've been looking at the Australian news on this morning for quite some time and can't see anything related to why.
There's little coming out as to why she's been detained. Virtually every Australian media outlet that has reached out for comment from Chinese officials has not heard back. But to understand the context in which this is happening, tensions between Australia and China have been rising for a long time now. In the short term, you saw coronavirus. Australian officials demanded an international inquiry into the origin of the virus, really slamming China for their role in it. China reciprocated by slamming tariffs on Australian imports, vowing to crack down on wine imports and other items coming in.
So this could be a ratcheting up
Australia.
between China and Australia here, Natalie. But tell us, CGTN have scrubbed her bio and everything from their website. They've just totally erased her. We saw that at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic coming out of Wuhan Lab. They're doing the same thing with this woman. They're unpersoning her.
As Dr. Yan says, they disappear you. That's the phrase they use. They disappear you, right? You get all taken off the websites. All of a sudden, nobody ever knew you existed. They go, no, I don't remember that person. They disappear you.
And you better not remember that person if you get asked, right?
Natalie?
Like you said, they've scrubbed her bio from the CGTN website. There's marginal reporting on it, obviously, coming from CGTN, other than if you look on their opinion section. Over the past few days, there's been a lot of authors they've had writing op-eds directed at Australia and new laws they've been passing, basically to be able to go after the Chinese Communist Party in their attempts to influence the Australian economy and elections.
Extraordinary.
Australia is the canary in the mine shaft. Natalie, how do people get your Twitter handle? I notice your Twitter's blowing up, particularly with a lot of Chinese expatriates all over your Twitter because of your reporting. What's your Twitter handle?
Natalie G. Winters on Twitter.
Natalie, thank you so much for joining us today. You know, Rahim, Jack, Australia is the canary in the mine shaft. That is the tip of the spear right off the South China Sea. They had that book. You got this new book out by Clive Hamilton called Hidden Hand, which walks through the whole CCP infiltration of the West, particularly London and Washington, D.C. and New York City, the capital markets. But his book a few years ago, Silent Invasion, exposed to the Australian people how the Chinese Communist Party had totally infiltrated into every aspect of Australian society. And the new federal state's gotten traction down there. Australia is a central ally in this entire fight. Okay, we're going to take a short commercial break. Hashtag War and Pandemic. Want to hear? No, we're throwing a lot at you on a Monday, right? We're not here to entertain you. We're here to give you tomorrow's headlines today. Short commercial break. We're going to be back with the new federal state. We're going to go around the world next on War and Pandemic.